right, shalom, shalom.
Shalom.
All right, first and foremost, before we get started, we're going to give all honor, all glory to
Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Ba'ashem, Rakadash.
All right, double honors to the elders and apostles of the Great Millstone. Salutations and blessings to you, Akim, that's pushing this truth and sincerity to the four corners of the world. Right?
Shalom.
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 Shalom. We GMS Lafayette Saints, GMS Louisiana Saints of the Lafayette branch, and we pretty much gonna go into, the current events, rolling through the spirit pertaining to prophecy, and we're gonna get some scriptures, and Lord willing, we're gonna go through some articles as well. Just run through the spirit, and Lord willing, it'll be edifying.
It's the book of Revelation, chapter 6. You can get that article. Chapter 6, verse 6. And I heard a voice in the midst of the four beasts say, a measure of wheat for a penny, and 3 measures of barley for a penny, and see thou hurt not the oil and the wine.
God, so this is talking about in 70 AD, all right, when they had pretty much, stopped the flow of, commerce, all right, at the temple. And pretty much the things that you usually get, like meats and different things like that, were expensive, all right? And it was referring to saying that, a full day's labor of work, can only get you pretty much bread or barely any meat off of, the head off an ass, all right?
All right, this is the word penny.
Strong's G 1220.
Denarion, it says containing 10. It says a Roman silver coin in New Testament time. It took its name from it being equal to 10 asses, a number after 217 BC increased to 16. All right. It says it was the principal silver coin of the Roman Empire.
Right. The principal silver coin meaning that it was the primary source of buying and trading, selling. All right. It's like on today, it was what, a US dollar. Okay. But the important point about what the brother read was 10. Go ahead, read that part again.
It says denarius containing 10.
Containing 10. All right. And I'm going to read it in Revelation 6 again. Revelation 6 and 6. And I heard a voice in the midst of the 4 beasts say, a measure of wheat for a penny. That penny going into denarius meaning 10. All right. Going to the part about a full day's work. All right.
All right, this is Revelation 6 and verse 6.
Yes.
Revelation 6, verse 6 in the NLT. It says, and I heard a voice from among the 4 living beings saying, a loaf of wheat bread or 3 loaves of barley will cost a day's pay.
Will cost a day's pay. All right. So ultimately, when you go into that penny, it means containing 10. All right. You can liken on to that until a full day's pay. You go into a store, a loaf of bread, a pack of water, all right, a case of meat will be the same amount as if you worked a full day and got to pay for it, man. Just imagine that, a loaf of bread, all right, going from what? Maybe $3 to what? Like you said, 10 containing 10 times 3 be $30. We've never seen that in America's time ever, since America's been in existence. You've never seen a loaf of bread for $30, a case of water for $150. That's when the scene of gloom and misery is going to set in on this place, man. When you go into the store and in order to feed your baby for the day, it's going to cost you 2 weeks worth of work. Or a whole entire paycheck, $1,000, man, just for your child. There's going to be a lot of cannibalism. There's going to be a lot of barbaric activity, man. You got that out? The word inflation.
All right, this is the definition of inflation. All right, it says the action of inflating something or the condition of being inflated, a general increase in prices and fall in the purchasing value of money.
A fall in the purchasing value of money. Now let's keep that definition in mind. Now, get hyperinflation. It said a fall in the purchasing value of money, meaning that the purchasing value of money is going to decrease. What you could normally get for $3 might turn to $30. That means the cash system is worth way less than what it once was. You got it out.
All right, this is the definition of hyperinflation. It says rapid, excessive, and out of control general price increases in an economy.
Ooh, one more time.
It says rapid, excessive, and out of control general prices increases in an economy.
Right.
Uh,
Rapid. You want to speak on that? I got to.
yeah, I just wanted to say, out here in Louisiana, whenever hurricane and different things like that about to come and hit, you know, like if you stay within the area and it affects you for more than 5, 6, 7, 8 days, and you without power, or say that there's even power, but when you get to these different stores, when you want to purchase like bread and stuff like that, I've seen, a low scale of inflation of bread being like $15. A case of water, $40, $70.
Yep.
In a really really bad severe case, what they would consider.
Right.
You know,
In the states, you have the price of living is higher in some states. So naturally, just on a regular, you say a regular day in California, a bottle of water might cost $7, $8 a bottle. So just imagine in those places. That's why this place is gonna be devoured up with that hyperinflation. This is Second Ezra 16:21. One of y'all brothers got it. Says, "Behold, victuals shall be so good cheap upon earth that they shall think themselves to be in good case, and even then shall evils grow upon earth, sword, famine, and great confusion."
huh?
Oh,
You got it. I don't know. You got that.
the water. Yeah, so people are going to think themselves to be in good case because they're going to see certain things are, cheap at the moment in the midst of a hyperinflation. But, it's all going to be, the beginning of sorrows because soon after that, okay, soon you're going to see, famine arise. People are going to be killing each other with a sword, guns, stabbing each other up. All right, all these different things, okay, all for, all because, there's a lack of bread in the streets, in these stores and whatnot. People are going to be busting into each other's houses, killing up the owner of the house, killing up all the family members of that house, the children, and so on and so forth, to get whatever they need to make it to the next day, you know.
It says, I'm gonna read the letter in, and even then shall evils grow upon earth, sword, famine, and great confusion. It says, for many of them that dwell upon earth shall perish of famine, and the other that escape the hunger shall the sword destroy.
And so a lot of people are going to die from hunger and starvation, famine, and even those that by any chance are going to be able to survive, okay, the famine and the hunger, these people that have food and water and stuff like that stocked up, okay, they're going to perish by the sword because eventually people are going to break into their bunkers or their pantries or wherever they have all these things stocked up at, and they're going to put them to death, right in their own home. Okay, these are the times that we're getting ready to come into. When Jacob Trouble hit. So pretty much the Lord is making it to where the only way to survive through those times is if you have the Holy Spirit on you, and ultimately if you're covered by the blood of Yahweh Shai, in which only the elect, fall under those two categories. Lord willing, we be of that number. Yeah, that was it.
All right. I got a quick one. Second Ezra 16:28. It says, for of a city there shall be 10 left, and 2 of the field, which shall hide themselves in the thick groves and in the clefts of the rocks. As in an orchard of olives, upon every tree there are three left or four olives. Or as when a vineyard is gathered, there are left some clusters of them diligently seeking through the vineyard. Even so, in those days, there shall be three or four left by them that search their houses with the sword. And that's what's going to happen. You're going to have people in the cities. You're going to have people in the so-called wilderness, the so-called country area, all right, abiding amongst the cliffs of the rocks, thinking that, oh, well, since we're so far off from where the danger is happening, we're going to be safe. But even then, evil shall grow upon the earth. There's even going to be killings amongst them because you have people that are actually prepping for these times, man. Doomsday preppers that are mapping out certain areas where they have to go at or where they can go at in their minds and say, okay, well, this is the area where least population will be at. But they're thinking that least population will be there, but little do they know they got 20 other doomsday preppers thinking the same thing. And they're going to meet each other up there, man, and ultimately slay each other. You're going to have a lot of that happening. And it's just going to trickle down till it gets to the city, man. And then the city is going to be just all out pandemonium and turmoil, man. All right? Like your favorite scene in The Purge, your favorite scene in Mad Max, The Road Warrior, man. The apocalyptic setting that you love to watch, it's actually going to come to life, man. But the latter end it says, by them that search their houses with the sword. That's right, man. Searching their houses with the sword, with the weapon, man. All right? Whether that be your literal house that you dwell in, or your camper, your vehicle, all right, your tent, wherever you land your actual dwelling in, man, it's going to be searched, man. You're going to get carjacked, all right? You're going to get tent jacked, suitcase jacked, what else? Bag jacked, bike jacked, all that, man. We're coming to the end of all that, man. This is the Most High's movie, and us as the elect. We're merely like you see your weatherman. The weatherman, the weather changed. The weatherman is on it. He's on everything. How the weather's moving, emotions, predictions, and all that. That's how we are through the Spirit, man. We're on everything. So we're waiting for the Lord to deliver us from all this hell that we're speaking of. We're speaking of this hell to warn, but ultimately we want deliverance from these things, man. We're working out our own salvation behind the camera, man. When these lights go off, when the curtains close, man, we're really living this. You got it now.
Yeah, I just want to bring one out real quick in that same chapter, just real quick. This second Ezra, chapter 16, uh, verse 17. Woe is me, who will deliver me in those days? And when the prophet Ezra was seeing all of these visions of the end time and Jacob's trouble, even Ezra, pretty much got into the spirit of like, damn, how the hell am I going to be saved out of this situation, that situation, this situation, so on and so forth, you know, and that's just going to show you how bad the times that we're coming into are going to be, because pretty much if you don't have the Holy Spirit on you and the Lord is not dealing with you, then you're pretty much going to be asked out in that day, but the elect are not, because knowledge and wisdom is going to be just our stability when those times come, because we're going to know, first and foremost, we're going to know the names of Yahweh and Yahweh Shai, okay, which is likened to a strong tower. That's our safe haven, okay, and we're going to know that through the Spirit that the Lord is going to be with us, Lord willing, okay, and that we're going to be covered and protected. Verse 18, 2 Ezra 16 and 18, the beginning of sorrows and great mournings. Hey, so when Jacob's trouble hit, that's just going to be the beginning, because if you think right now, the world is bad right now, just wait until when all hell breaks loose. It says the beginning of sorrows and great mournings, the beginning of famine and great death. You'll see that word great twice in the scripture. Okay, it says the beginning of wars and the powers shall stand in fear, the beginning of evils. What shall I do when these evils shall come? So hey, it's going to be the beginning of a lot of great, bad things taking place on earth. Okay, and we as the hopeful elect, we know what we're going to do when those evils come, and that's call upon the name of Yahweh Shema Shai and pray to the Lord to protect us from these evils. That's it.
Okay, I got one right here. Then I'm gonna bring out that article that I have. This is Second Ezra 15:17. It says, "A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able." And that's talking pretty much about Jacob's trouble, all the things that the brother Amanya was just not kind of speaking on. Pretty much martial law, sedition amongst men, people fighting each other with the sword. It's not going to be smart to go into the city. So that's why men are going to fear. They're going to fear for their lives. It says, verse 18, "For because of their pride, their city shall be troubled, and their houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid." So because of their pride, because they didn't want to hearken, they didn't want to listen to the prophets, they scoffed and had their proud looks and so forth and so on, man. Their cities are going to be troubled and their houses are going to be destroyed because of it. And it says men shall be afraid. If men are going to be afraid, we're more, women and the children, man. You know,
That's right, brother.
it says, "A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods, because there is a lack of bread and for great tribulation." You know, destroy, spoil their goods, man. What people would call, necessities like, uh, toilet paper, and, women that would need their
Toilet paper, tampons, toothpaste,
Yeah,
toothbrush, deodorant, shampoo, soap,
that's right.
water.
Vitamins, different things like that. Even during the time of the pandemic, what people were doing, they were buying up all kind of, herbs and different things like that. Now,
Toilet paper.
yeah,
They had a shortage on toilet paper.
that
That
too.
was went viral at one time during the pandemic. You got it now.
Yeah,
I
it
got some
says,
food too.
says, it says because of the lack of bread, a great tribulation for the lack of bread, man. Daily bread and actual, bread which you eat. Food. You know, and it says for great tribulation. Trying and troubling times. You know,
Yeah. And once again, that goes that word great again. So
yeah,
hey,
yeah,
we coming into some great, great evil, great evil troublesome times. Yeah.
Yeah, I got you one up. Just banging y'all brothers up. This is the word famine from Zondervan Bible Dictionary. It's the word famine, okay? It says famine, quotations, famine, hunger, want of food. In ancient times in Palestine and Egypt, famines were frequent, produced by one, want of rainfall in due season, two, destructive hailstorms and rain out of season, three, destruction of crops by locusts and caterpillars, and four, the cutting off of food supplies by a siege. By a siege. And the brother alluded to 70 AD earlier, right? And these times that we're living in are going to be 70 AD on steroids, all right? Like the siege of Jerusalem, siege of Masada, all right? You had cannibalism, you had vast hunger going out through the kingdom, all right? And ultimately it led to what? More and more evils, man, until that kingdom was destroyed and overthrown, man. All right, but it says famines are sometimes said to be sent as punishments, and sometimes they are threatened as such. And this is the point. It says a special tav, that M word, a special tav of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua's favor and power is to be preserved in time of famine. It says a special tav, that M word, of the Most High's favor and power is to be preserved in time of famine. So if we're preserved in that time with all these things that happening, it's safe to say we got that time, man. We got that exemption. All right, we're the elect. When we see all these things happening and we're not affrighted by them, we're not afraid, and we're just keeping that stable mindset, that's alluding to us being written in the book of life. But it says, the letter N, it says, sometimes the word famine is used in a figurative sense, as when Amos says that the Most High will send a famine of hearing the words of the Lord. You see? And that's how the Most High speaks unto us in parables, man. You got famine is also used in a figurative sense, like the brother alluded to earlier. Your brother was going into the famine of the word. All right? That's famine being used in a figurative sense. Literally, it's not going to be a famine of something that you can actually grab and put inside your body, all right, and nourish, so-called nourish you, but it's going to be spiritual, something that you've heard that's have been going out, man. That line, you got it, bro.
I got one backing you up. Huh? This is Isaiah 55 and 13. It says, "Therefore, thus saith the Lord, behold, my servant shall eat, but ye shall be hungry." And going into the brother definition of, famine, it says, "Behold, my servant shall eat, but you shall be hungry." You know, we're going to be spiritual eating in that time because we will have the scriptures, within our mind, within our thoughts, to keep us stable, to keep on pushing on and enduring, and as well as eating physically, man. Finding food. The brothers is bringing out how you have these different, people that have these doomsday preppers, man. They stock up on all kind of different type of foods and things like that. Those different things that they're saving is for the elect. And it says, "Behold, my servant shall drink, but ye shall be thirsty." See, that also goes into spiritual and physical drink. It says, "Behold, my servant shall rejoice, but ye shall be ashamed." So we're gonna rejoice because we're gonna have the word, and because we're gonna be getting spiritually and physically fed. While everybody else, pretty much suffers.
Lord.
Yep.
Yep. Hey, bro, I will read that in the NLT real quick, but I'm gonna read to 17 now because it got some
Okay.
heat on it. This Isaiah 65 and 14 in the NLT. "My servants will sing for joy, but you will cry in sorrow and despair. Your name will be a curse word among my people, for the sovereign Lord will destroy you and will call his true servants by another name. All who invoke a blessing or take an oath will do so by the power of truth. For I will put aside my anger and forget the evil of earlier days." Verse 17, "Look, I am creating new heavens and a new earth, and no one will even think about the old ones anymore," man. All right? And that's ultimately likened on to John the 16th chapter, which I have right here, which Yahushua speaking, saying that it was a promise that ultimately the world will be rejoicing at a period of time. The world will be getting over us. The world will be winning, catching the good side of this world we live in. But ultimately, our sorrow will be turned into laughter. All right, knowing that we built up something that couldn't be seen by them while they were indulging in the things that were visible unto them. This is John 16 and 20. It says, "Verily, verily, I say unto you, that ye shall weep and lament." And we're doing that now in the house of mourning. That's where you see it. The house of David has been the house of mourning, sighing and crying for the abominations done in the midst thereof for a long, long time, man. From the apostles on down to the least of us, man. Laying out this groundwork and this foundation for the kingdom of heaven. But it says, "And the world shall rejoice in the time, as in the days of Noah." Man, the world is rejoicing. They're getting over. They happy because they winning the lotteries, or they just flourishing on a job, or they getting the best benefits in the society. Whatever they may be, they dwell in that in pride. And we're here sitting back and saying, man, we see them winning, but we're still in the house of mourning, knowing that this place is going to be turned to dust, ashes, man. All right, our people are going to be persecuted on the streets. So that's the lot of a wise man. But the end says, "And ye shall be sorrowful, but your sorrow shall be turned into joy," man. Our sorrow being turned into joy. We're in that season right now, man. All right, we don't know the exact day, the exact millisecond that the Lord is going to crack those clouds, but we know we're in the seasons for it, man. We're in the season right now for deliverance, man. All right, for the Lord to give us spiritual powers, because we see death, destruction, famine, all those things are knocking at the door of this place, man. Knocking at the door. And that door is going to open onto all those things, man. All right? and ultimately destroying this place and overcoming it and delivering the Lord's elect. That was it. That was it.
You had
I got Deuteronomy 28, and now even though this is going into the curses, but I want to apply the scripture that I'm about to read to the topic that we're going into right now. All right, Deuteronomy 28, and I'm gonna start at verse 54. It says, "So that the man that is tender among you and very delicate, his eye shall be evil toward his brother, and toward the wife of his bosom, and toward the remnant of his children, which he shall leave." All right, verse 55. "So that he will not give to any of them of the flesh of his children, whom he shall eat, because he hath nothing left him, because he hath nothing left him in the siege." All right, the siege. The brothers was going into the example of 70 A.D. How Esau Edom, okay, laid siege around Jerusalem and slaughtered many of our people back in 70 A.D. All right, and took down the temple. It says, "Because he had nothing left in him in the siege and in the straitness, wherewith thine enemies shall distress thee in all thy gates." And even though this is in the curses, and a lot of this has been fulfilled, in various times throughout history. When the ancient Babylonians came and sacked the first temple, when the Romans came and sacked the second temple in 70 A.D. Well, this is getting ready to happen all over again. Okay, because going back to the brother Amos's precept earlier in 2 Ezra 15, where it talks about they should be invading one another. Basically, men are going to be breaking into each other's houses, okay, stealing their food and killing them with the sword for lack of bread and tribulation. Well, you best believe a lot of these jakes are going to be fulfilling that prophecy, all right, on steroids when Jacob's trouble come to pass. Okay, you think Jake's eye is evil towards one another right now, with all this rap music and trap music, okay, all this crime being committed in their so-called communities. Well, wait till when Jacob's trouble hit. Jake is going to be killing each other up on a higher level. Okay, when that famine hit, all right, a lot of these Jakes are going to be eating their children. Okay, a lot of these Eves are going to be eating their children. They're going to be eating other Jake's children. All right, and it's all right going to ramp up as it says at the. I'm gonna read verse 55 again, Deuteronomy 28 and 55. "So that he will not give to any of them of the flesh of his children, whom he shall eat, because he hath nothing left him in the siege." All right, because we're getting ready to go under a siege all over again in the form of what? Martial law. It says, "And in the straightness," okay, the straight gate, it says, "wherewith thine enemies shall distress thee in all thy gates." So when Esau Edom's gonna come down with that with martial law, okay, he's gonna put all types of distress upon Jake. Okay, Jake is gonna be in a state of perplexity without resources, without food, without water, and a lot of Jakes are gonna be busting into other Jake's house to steal their food and their water and their resources. Okay, and hey, shit is finna get
Right.
real.
And it moves off the vibration of the land, because when you have something that's promoted, that's what people want. People want right now possessions. They want fame. They want jewels. They want ice around their neck. They want statue. That's what's wanted in the earth right now. And when that fades away, you're gonna have a want for what? Just getting by, just having water in your body, just having enough bread to sustain. That's gonna be actually what people are fighting and thriving for. And just like you see a rapper get chain jacked or get killed and take everything taken from them, all right, that's gonna be likened onto that world in that day, man. You're gonna have people kicking doors. That's gonna be a common thing, man. All right. It is now. Hell, we see all the things going on in the media and the news right now, man. That's not far fetched to what's gonna be full blown in a couple milliseconds from now. You got that started.
yeah. This is a article by Boston, and it's titled "This Holiday Season, the Poor Buckle Under Inflation as the Rich Spend." All right, the New York Times, and it says November has been busier than expected at the Longham Hotel in Boston as luxury travelers booked rooms to flush suites and hold meetings endowed conference rooms. Those are pretty much like the, gold trimming and all the other things like that. It says, um, it says the 150, the 135 per adult Thanksgiving brunch at its in-house restaurant sold out in weeks. But it says um, across town in Doomshire, the mandate has been booming for a different kind of food service. It says Catholic Charities is seeing so many families uh, at its free uh, party, at its free part, at its free pantry, Shalakia, that the vice president of the Catholic Church in Boston had to close their doors early some days and tell the patrons to come back first thing in the morning. So it's basically going into showing, how you have the rich are spending, so say, and the rich are, and the poor are basically suffering, But as we were going into, with this inflation, it's going to be so bad that even the so-called rich or the people that have a considerable amount of money are going to be suffering also, and going to be in the same stance as those who are poor. It continues to say, um, it says Saturday morning before Thanksgiving, patriots waiting for free turkeys began in line at the street at 4 a.m., more than 4 hours before the pantry opened. And that's just showing that, there's many families out there. There's a majority of people suffering and people who, pretty much has money, because of the pandemic. It says many well-off customers are still flush with savings and faring well financially. It says luxury brands uh, are keeping some high-end retailers, companies optimistic. So the rich are buying these different things. Their mind is pretty much on the luxuries of this world.
Yes.
About holiday seasons, at the same time, America's poor are running low on cash, buffets struggling to keep up with rising prices and facing climbing borrowing costs if they use credit cards or loans to make ends meet. So even within like the holidays, right? Jake likes to like borrow money, especially now in these times that everything is so inflated. They like to go to loans and say, well, I don't want my kid to go without. I want them to have better than I had.
Yeah.
So they'll go to a loan and put themselves even in a deeper hole than what they're already in. You know,
Yep.
people, in that comatose state
Right.
of being spiritually dead.
And then they face with those loan sharks because once you damage your credit, you have loan sharks. Just what does a shark do? It circles you, waving that flag of debt. Hey, you owe me this. You owe me this. You keep getting paid. You're not paying me. You keep getting paid. You're not paying me. So Esau works on that credit system. That credit system is about to crash, man. Those systems of checks and balances, promissory notes, all right, deposits, withdrawals, that system of banking is about to be wiped out, man, at the blink of our eyes, as a thief in the night. But I'm gonna read your verse again in the NLT, and you got it. I just breaking it down. This is Proverbs chapter 10, all right, and I'm gonna start at 15. It says, "The wealth of the rich is their fortress; the poverty of the poor is their destruction. The earnings of the godly enhance their lives, but evil people squander their money on sin. People who accept discipline are on the pathway to life, but those who ignore correction will go astray." You got it, bro.
Yeah. So can you read that top half one more time?
This is Proverbs 10 and 15 in the NLT. The wealth of the rich, Salaki, the wealth of the rich is their fortress. The poverty of the poor is their destruction.
That's right. So the rich, they believe in their riches, man. Like the scriptures say, some believe in chariots. They believe in their wealth. They believe in the things that they have. You know, They say I don't have any concern. Look at all this that I have. I have all this land. I have this beautiful house.
The
You know, I have,
fatness of the earth.
yeah, I have millions in my bank account. I got I got pantries full of food, of canned goods. You know, to think themselves to be in a good case. Uh, while what the poor is destroyed, man. Is oppressed. You know, barely making ends meet. And what that's going to result to, what we was going into before, is what those riots, man. You know, they're going to be going. The poor of the people are going to be going into these rich areas, man. These people that got a whole lot of money, that's where they're going to be fluctuating to, man, because they know you have it. You know. So yeah, man. But
I got one,
con,
but just to make a point to back up your point, that's why it goes into in the book of Job, the 20th chapter. You know, every hand of the wicked shall be upon him. Once we go into that word wicked in Job the 20th chapter, it goes into workman, laborer. So a lot of these so-called middle class, working class people that are in straits right now, financial hardships, having to take out loans and apply for a credit card line just to be able to afford food and basic necessities and things like that. Eventually, when they undergo too much financial hardships, as well as not being able to pay back all the credit that they owe, eventually they're going to be going into those rich neighborhoods like the brother just brought out. They're going to be bucking up against their government, which goes into the sedition, and they're going to take matters into their own hands. They're going to be taking out all of their frustrations because these people, they know that they're being screwed by the higher ups anyway. They know that all these things that's going on, with the economy and all of that is all being done on purpose. Anyway, here it is over this last year. Every 3 or 4 months or so, you have the Federal Reserve, bumping up the interest rates, something like that. Okay, all in the name of fighting inflation and making the inflation go down and this, that, and the third. When all these rates have been doing, okay, is just bumping up the inflation even more. So clearly, they're doing all this stuff on purpose, and the working class, American, sees that as well. So hey, it's just one big how they say that one big kettle getting ready to blow up, something like that. This whole thing is getting ready to blow up. All right, and hey, a lot of these people are gonna lose it when that famine hit, as well as when they lose their jobs, when they lose their money, and all these different things. Okay, and all this stuff is all being done by design. Everyone's got it.
You got it, Amos.
bear with me just for 1 second. All right, yeah, this is Matthew 24 and 30. Matthew 24 and 38. It says, "For in the day," it says, "For as in the days that were before the flood, they were eating and drinking and marrying and giving in marriage until the day that Noah entered into the ark." All right, and knew not until the flood came and took them all away. So shall also the coming of the Son of Man be. So that's how it is, man. That's how it's going on right now. You know, all these things are brewing up. You know what I mean? They were eating and drinking. They're going to be, indulging in these things. All right, not considering the times. All right, and then what? The Jacob's trouble is going to hit. You know. So yeah.
Just got one back to you up. Actually, backing y'all both up. It's Proverbs 13, and I started 11, and I'm going to jump down to 22. In the NLT, it says, I'm going to read it in the KJV first. KJV first. Proverbs 11, 13, 11. Wealth gotten by vanity shall be diminished, but he that gathereth by labor shall increase. In the NLT, it says, wealth from get rich quick schemes quickly disappear. Wealth from hard work grows over time. And that hard work is the foundation of the kingdom of heaven, man. We each have a role in putting our hands to the plow to build this house of the kingdom of heaven. We're all going to have our role in the kingdom of heaven. Lord willing, we are that number. But it says, wealth from hard work grows over time. And that's likened unto us, man. I'm going to jump down to verse 22. It says, a good man leaveth an inheritance to his children's children, and the wealth of the sinner is laid up for the just. And then just backing our brothers up about that whole Jacob's trouble, day of the Lord. These doomsday preppers, these rich men, all right, Esau dig it down the hill in those underground bunkers, dig it up to the heavens, all right, NASA, all right, his gift is with the dew of the heavens, all right, but ultimately, those things are going to be made to naught in the sight of the entire universe, man, all right, but it says, and the wealth of the sinner is laid up for the just, man, that transgressor, man, it's going to be laid up for us. And the Lord said, we're going to laugh in that day, so we're going to be fed in that day. So you laying up all that food, all those resources to be so-called protected, Most High is going to let his men of the Lord stumble upon that, man. And we're going to be full. You got it, bro.
I got a quick proverb. This is Proverbs 28, verse 22. It says, he that hasteth to be rich hath an evil eye, and considereth not that poverty shall come upon him. So, all these people in the world, these YouTubers, these so-called influencers, entrepreneurs, and all this other stuff, especially those amongst our people that's into these different fields and whatnot. It says that if you hasten to be rich, meaning if you're trying to, if you're thinking about, right, trying to, make six figures within the next year or so, okay, trying to get rich and all these things, you have no consideration that poverty is getting ready to hit you possibly within the next 6 to 12 months, okay, and if not that, then very very soon, because look at the direction that this economy is going. We're getting ready to enter into a recession, okay, and that recession is getting ready to lead into a depression, all right, hyperinflation, famine, all right, fuel shortages, diesel shortages, and all these different things. All right, poverty is getting ready to sweep over the majority of not only this country here in America, Babylon the Great, but this whole entire world. And so, the ones about people that's all in this mentality of trying to get the bag, all right, trying to upstart your business, all right, or all these different things, you're gonna go straight into poverty when Jacob's trouble hit. Yeah. And real quick, this is the same scripture in the NLT, Proverbs 28, verse 22 in the NLT. Greedy people try to get rich quick, but don't realize they're headed for poverty. You know, so all you jakes out there, and all you people in general, really. But this message is mainly aimed towards you jakes, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. All right, you're all worried about trying to get rich and trying to get the bag, but instead you're all headed for poverty and ultimately death and destruction. All right, least you repent. That's it.
Yep. You got something more? Yeah. All right, just the article, brother, pulled from the siege of Jerusalem. All right, because like the brother alluded to, we're coming into another siege. All right, and it's going to be 70 AD on steroids, man, magnified. All right, a time like we've never been in before. But this is just an article going into some of the history of the siege of Jerusalem. It says the siege of Jerusalem. The Jews, so-called, have had no intention of submitting to the pagans. In AD 66, a false hope that the Most High would help overthrow the oppressors led to some initial military success, and that false hope was hope in the Most High, man. All right, we have hope in the Most High, and the Most High is going to deliver us, but that had to happen. The siege of Jerusalem had to happen according to prophecy, man. All right, so we wouldn't be here right now if it wasn't according to prophecy. But it says, but the tide quickly turned against them when Vespasian took command of the Jewish war. All right, it says by the spring of AD 70, the children of Israel, and this is widely known, man. All right, so how can we be anti anything? It says the children of Israel found themselves defying the Roman armies, Salakia, surrounding their capital. Vespasian, who was the father of Titus and Domitian, it says Vespasian, now the Roman emperor, had given his son Titus the charge to complete the victory. All right, we're going to jump down. It says food rations. It's about the fourth paragraph. It says food rations inside the city were scarce. During the nights, figures would sneak through hidden passages to steal food amid supplies from the soldiers' tents. Titus decreed that those captured were to be crucified. A forest of crossers littered the countryside as trees were stripped off the land to satisfy the order for crucifying some 500 Jews per day. 500 Jews per day, man. All right, now just imagine that in this time, man. 500, it might be 5,000, 50,000 so-called Native Americans, Latinos, and Negroes a day, man. All right, in the time of Jacob's trouble, man, it's going to be mass. It's going to be like anything we've ever seen, man, nor will we ever see again. You got that? Speak on that.
Hey, like, just going into what the brother just brought out about some facts on 70 AD, as well as, the time of Jacob's trouble. Like, when you think about it, like, when you really, like, wrap your mind around, like, all the stuff that we're getting ready to witness when Jacob's trouble hit, like once we get, go through all this stuff, we gonna need new bodies after that. Because, like, you gotta think about it. We're about to head into, like some serious traumatizing times.
Yeah, PTSD, all that, bro.
Yeah. Seeing like some of our family members put to death, at point blank range, children, okay, things like that. Like after all that, we gonna need those new bodies, because just imagine like if we go through all those things, and then we still have to go through another period of being in this flesh, and stuff like that. Like we won't be able to like bear all that stuff mentally. Like your brother said, we're gonna have be having like serious PTSD, flashbacks, all this stuff. So hey,
shell shock, whatever you want to call it, man.
Shell shock.
All right, we're gonna be purified, and that's a part of us being tried as gold, man. Gold has to go through certain conditions, certain environments to make sure that is that gold really gold, or is that wood, or is that stone. That's how the Lord is likening it unto us, man. We're gonna make sure you gold, son. We don't deal with that wood, that stone, man, that clay. No, none of that. You're gonna be tried and purified to the fullest extent, man. And we gotta come to that realization, like the brother was saying. Once you wrap your mind around it, you realize that this test is not for many. This test is not likened unto that of any mortal test, man. Because this test is coming from the heavens down onto us, man. Given unto us in these corruptible bodies. So you just know in the kingdom of heaven, we're gonna be at the fullest height of extent of Yahweh Shem Yahushua dealing with us, man. And even then, all right, because even then, all right, we're gonna still have more and more to seek after, man. That's what the Lord is about. The Lord don't shorthand us. The Lord is not dealing like Esau. These shorthand and shorting you out your worth, man. The Lord don't rock like that.
Low balling.
Yeah, man. We work way more than what's been given unto us, all right, in the society. And we know that. We're not going to stand for just look, like the brother said, lowballing us, man. That was it. Oh, they got a little bit more. Salaki. The last paragraph, Salaki Akim, it says, a rampart was built around the city to seal off the hidden passages. Hunger became so intense that the citizens became insane with famine, resorting to murdering one another over food. They even practiced cannibalism. Those who perished were cast over the walls into piles of bodies that remained unburied. Ooh, their dead bodies shall lay in the street, man. It said the scene of the holy city was one of utter desolation. And we know Jerusalem is a people before it's a place. So wherever Israel is scattered, that's where you're going to have that siege, that famine, that death, that destruction, man. That was it.
You have one almost?
You got it.
All right, this real quick. This is Daniel chapter 12, verse we'll start at verse 9. All right, Daniel 12, verse 9. And he said, "Go thy way, Daniel, for the words are closed up and sealed till the time of the end." Verse 10, "Many shall be purified and made white and tried." Okay, "But the wicked shall do wickedly, and none of the wicked shall understand, but the wise shall understand." Okay, so this pretty much the angel telling Daniel, look, everything that I'm showing you, all right, in these visions and these prophecies and whatnot, just go ahead and seal it up, all right, until the time of the end, because at the time of the end, which is what we're in right now, all these things that Daniel, all right, and the prophets, John the Revelator and things like that would eventually be unsealed, all right, by Yahushua. Okay,
Revelation the 5th chapter.
that's right. That's right. And as it goes into in verse 10, Daniel 12 and 10, the angel was telling Daniel at that time, or at the time of the end, when these things be unsealed, it says, "Many shall be purified and made white and tried." Okay, and who's that? Who's that going into? Going into the elect, because the elect, all right, when that time of trial is going to come, all right, that trial by fire, Jacob's trouble, that straight gate, all right, the elect are the ones that's going to be made white and pure and cleansed in the eyes of the Lord. All right, Lord willing, we be at that number. We're the ones that's going to be made unto fine gold when that time comes. All right, Lord willing, we endure to the end of that trial by fire. It says, continuing on in verse 10, it says, "But the wicked shall do wickedly, and none of the wicked shall understand." And why will none of the wicked understand when these times of trouble come? All right, because they're not going to understand that that all these things are going to happen ultimately because of a higher power. Yahweh Shema Shai, bringing judgment upon the world, punishing the world, like it says in Isaiah 13. Okay, when these things are going to start hitting these people, people are going to be dropping dead left and right. Thousands of people dying per day, 10,000s of people dying per day. None of these wicked people of the world that don't know what the hell is going on are going to understand why these things are happening. As it goes into in 2 Ezra 16, those scourges for amendment. The Lord's going to bring all these scourges, or the famine, the sword, death, tribulation, to amend the minds of these people. Meaning what? To change the minds of these people. But as it just said, the wicked shall do wickedly, all right, and they're not going to understand until they ultimately be all destroyed by those nuclear missiles. It says, "But the wise shall understand." Only the elect are the ones that's going to understand why these things are happening, because we're reading about it right now. You know, it's all due because of prophecy as well as judgment. You know, that's it.
I got you one. I just backing you up, and then just backing up that Revelation the 6th chapter. All right, this is Proverbs 21 and 20, because like we read earlier in Revelation the 6th chapter. All right, and see, it hurt not the oil and the wine. That's talking about the elect, man. That's talking about this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, because we're gonna be preserved in that time. Proverbs 21 and 20, it says, "There is treasure to be desired, and oil in the dwelling of the wise, but a foolish man spendeth it up."
Yes, you got that. I'm gonna bring that.
Right. But a foolish man spending it up. And just back in that Matthew 25, man. 5 were wise, 5 were foolish. All right. 5 took unto that cause, took unto the cause of the wedding. All right. Spiritual, like we go into spiritual wedding rehearsal, preparing for that wedding, preparing for that great day. Um, Brightening that lamp, that wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, trimming that oil. And then you have 5 that were unwise that said, well, basically, I'm going to tarry, I'm going to wait. Sirach 5 and 7 says, make no tarrying to turn to the Lord, or in thy security. Security is what we read in 2 Ezra, the 16th chapter, about victuals being so cheap. That's you and your security saying, hey, man, I got a pantry full. I got gas is cheap. I got a car full of gas. I got clothes in my closet. I got money in my bank account. I'm good. I ain't got to worry about nothing spiritual. But wise is knowing that those things are all going to depart and vanish just in a moment, in an instant. So you got to be thinking on things that you can't see, because that's what's controlling the scene, the things that you can see. All right? It says, but a foolish man spinning it up, man. We're not liking on to fools, man. A fool does something 100 times expecting different results from it. That's not liking on to us, man, because we're guided by Elisha 1 Kodash, man. All right? The holy tongue. All right? the name of the Lord. Like the brother went into the strong tower, man. That's our beacon of light. Like we read, like it said, the richest profit not in the day of wrath, or a rich man's wealth is basically his defense, his fortress. But our fortress, our strong tower is the name of the Lord. So we're not operating on a worldly plan with these people. So we don't deal with them like we dealing with them or just on a worldly plan. No, I'm better than you. I don't got to show you I'm better than you. But guess what? My spirit is going to bear witness that I'm dealing with a higher power. You're not. And I might not even have to say a word unto you, man. So that's the times we're living in. Like the scriptures say, a perfect hatred. We're developing and forming that perfect hatred for this place because we're being made perfect. We're being made that gold in that furnace of adversity. You got it, bro.
You got it, Moss.
I got it. All right, let's see.
What you looking for, brother?
It says you are we are poor, but you are rich.
Revelation?
Yeah, Revelation
Is
2
it
and 9.
Revelation?
Yeah.
Okay.
I got you right here. Revelation 2 and 9, Yahushua speaking, I know thy works in tribulation and poverty, but thou art rich. And I know the blasphemy of them which say they are the chosen people and are not, but are the synagogue of Satan.
So we're basically rich because we have this knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. I don't think that's the one.
That's not the one. It's not
No,
it.
no, it says basically us being the fools.
Is it on Sirach 10 and 6? Folly is set in great dignity, and the rich sit in a low place.
I can just use that. You got
You sure?
yeah.
It's Sirach 10 and 6. Folly is set in great dignity, and the rich sit in low place. I have seen servants upon horses, and princes walking as servants upon the earth.
Yeah, because I just wanted to refer to what the brother was saying. You know, uh, we look at as if we're in a low condition, but in actuality, we actually are rich within the spirit, man. That's what the brother was just now speaking on. We're rich within the spirit. We have this truth, and as the scriptures say, make a man more precious than fine gold. What makes that man precious is the knowledge that man has. Not his physical wealth or the things that he has on this earth, but what he has up there in his temple, up in his mind. What is his mind frame? What is his way of thinking? You know? So, we are rich in the scriptures, man. We are rich, with this knowledge, wisdom, and understanding of the Lord, man. You know?
You got it.
Let's see. This is Second Ezra's. Second Ezra's chapter 16, and you found a precept, the one that you was looking
It's one of them, but it's not it. But you got it, though.
for. It's Second Ezra's chapter 16, and I'll just start at 68. All right, Second Ezra 16, verse 68. For behold, the burning wrath of a great multitude is kindled over you. All right, what is that? That burning wrath. All right, Esau, Edom coming down with that great wrath. All right, because you know that he had but a short time left. It says, and they shall take away certain of you and feed you, being idle with things offered unto idols. So we know that Esau, Edom is going to take away certain of the elect. As it says in Revelation 2 and 10, the devil shall cast some of you into prison. All right, not half of us into prison, not the majority of us into prison, and damn sure not all of us into prison.
Get that word some on. I got you.
All right, but he's only going to be able to get his hands on some of us. All right, and offer us for things offered unto idols, which is what ultimately that corrupt. But we know the elect are going to stand tall and not bow the knee. And ultimately, if it come to pass, are going to give up their lives for not bowing the knee to this beast system or its image or its character. You got something?
Yep. It's the word some that says at least a small amount or number of people or things.
Right. So he's only going to get his hands on a small amount of us. Okay, because the Lord is ultimately going to protect his elect. Even though some of us are going to have to die and be martyrs for this truth, but even with that, as it goes into Revelation 14, their work shall follow them. Those that die for the Lord, all of their works and their labors that they've put in on this side, okay, they're going to be rewarded when they get up in the spirit world.
Right. And that's why the Most High says He's not unrighteous to forget your works and your labor of love. Because just like you'll have an entertainer, somebody that plays basketball, an actor, they'll die in this society, right? And they'll pass away, and they'll have a estate which is still getting their money. The people still getting the money when they pass away. Just imagine the kingdom of heaven in righteousness. We're going to get all of our just reward for all of our works, now and our past reincarnations, because we stand in our lots in these latter days, man. Because like the book of Job says, in our flesh, we long for to see Yahweh Shem Yahushua, man. That's the joy that we wait for, man, long for. Because we know if we be of this lineage, we're destined to receive that joy, to see the Father, man, for Him to be on our side forever. Like they say, on the right side of justice. Boy, you got caught on the wrong side of justice, wrong side of the law. We on the right side of the law, man. We on the right side of justice. That sheriff that you hear those clackles clacking, you don't even gotta see him. You hear the clackles, you hear him loosening up, tightening up his belt because he's about to give some judgment. Yeah, man, that's Yahweh Shai, man. That's our sheriff. That's our counselor. And we long for him. We thirst for him, man, because we thirst for this word. So therefore, we thirst for the Father. I don't know. It's kind of buffering. That was it up. Yeah.
God.
You got something up? You go ahead, man.
Yeah, still have some more. Back in 2 Ezra 16 and verse 69, and they that consent unto them shall be had in derision and in reproach and trodden underfoot. Yeah, those of our people that's going to consent to this beast system, that's going to bow the knee and take the charagma. Okay, they're all going to be had in derision, or made a mockery of by the prophets. Okay, and ultimately the Lord is going to trot them underfoot. All right, because they're selling out for things that the Lord has already promised for them anyway. All right, if they remain faithful. But 2/3 of our people, they don't have any faith in the Lord. They just have faith in Esau, Edom. Esau is their God. But it says, verse 70, for there shall be in every place and in the next cities a great insurrection upon those that fear the Lord. Okay, so there's going to be a great uprising against those of us that fear the Lord. All right, the elect. Okay, it says, verse 71, they shall be like mad men, sparing none, but still spoiling and destroying those that fear the Lord. Say, a lot of people are going to be persecuting us for this word and this testimony that we preach throughout the four corners of the earth. That's right. So, that's why, the Lord told the prophet Ezra, all right, earlier in this chapter, around verse 40-ish, to do what? To make you ready for the battle and be as pilgrims upon earth. Because hey, when that great resurrection is going to come, we're going to have to be, mentally and spiritually prepared on a higher level like none other before. Okay, and be pilgrims, constantly moving around, to and fro and this and the third, because they're going to be searching our houses and searching other people's houses, looking for, wherever we may be and things like that. Hey, things is getting ready to be, things is getting ready to be bad for the men of the Lord. But ultimately, after that, it's going to get good, for us, Lord willing.
Yeah. That sorrow going to be turned to joy. It's just backing you up. You got it.
I got one.
I got one after you.
All right, this is Luke 21 and 16, backing up the brother. It says, yeah, ye shall be betrayed both by parents and brethren and kinsfolks and friends, and some of you shall be they shall cause to be put to death. So some of us are going to be martyrs for the testimony of Hashem Yahushai. And it says, and ye shall be hated of all men for my name's sake. going into that great tribulation, us having to be persecuted, you know, you know, black blackballed and all kind of things,
Yeah.
our face pretty much being wanted out there. And it says, but they shall not, it says, but there shall not a hair on your head perish. So some of us are going to endure to the end and be saved. We're going to be preserved to the end and be saved. It says, in your patience, possess ye your souls. So in our sufferings, possess ye our souls. Because we're going to have to suffer, be patient, and wait for the Lord to deliver us, whether it be by, an angel or the Lord giving us spiritual power, and so forth and so on. Got it out here.
Yeah. Just bring back my brothers up. Romans 11:2. The Most High had not cast away his people, which he foreknew. Will ye say what the scripture saith of Elias? How he maketh intercession to the Most High against Israel, saying, quoting First Kings, it says, Lord, they have killed thy prophets and digged down thy altars, and I am left alone, and they seek my life. But what said the answer of the Most High unto him? I have reserved to myself 7,000 men who have not bowed the knee to the image of Baal, man. That's likened on to the image of the scarlet colored beast, man. The whore that sitteth upon many waters, man. All right, the EU and the NATO. All right, BRICS. This image that they've pushed on the entire planet Earth, and now they're going to push a digital dollar, the charagma, man. This, which is the centerpiece of prophecy, which is going to get us out of here. So we're pushing it, man, to warn the people. All right, like Jeremiah 28:8 says, the prophets that have been before me have prophesied against, not for, but against strong kingdoms, strongholds of pestilence, war, famine. And that's what we're doing. We're in a lot of our forefathers because through the spirit and faith, we believe we are our forefathers. All right, it says, and just to let it in, who have not bowed to the knee to the image of Baal, man. You know what honor, what majesty that is to not bow to the image of the society, man. In the eyes of Yahweh Shem Shah. Sure, it might seem like you just crazy, you bugged out to the eyes of the society in America, because look at the state of this place, man. But into the eyes of the Lord, to not bow to the image of Baal, man, you're a king forever. You have to want to take part in that, man. Especially by faith, knowing that this is our heritage, this is our lineage, man. This is us. We're speaking of our forefathers, of our fathers, our uncles, our cousins, man, through this book. Yahweh Shah, our king, man, who we long for. And that longing is not going to stop. Like the scriptures tell you, the manifestation of the creature, basically, um, hoping for the earnest expectation of the power, basically, man, roughly paraphrasing. All right, so we're hoping for the earnest expectation of our power to be made manifest onto us, man. We've been reading about. Now it's gonna be made into life. Like the scriptures tell you in First John, that word was made flesh and dwelt among us. And Yahweh Shah will dwell among us again, man. Y'all brothers got it right.
A little bit more in that second Ezra 16. Second Ezra 16 and verse 72, for they shall waste and take away their goods and cast them out of their houses. All right, verse 73. Then shall they be known who are my chosen, and they shall be tried as the gold in the fire. So wait, once that great persecution come, all right, from Esau, Edom, and the rest of these bugged out people in the society, that's when the Lord's going to work his miracles. That's when that standard is going to be lifted up. That's when it's going to be made known who the Lord is dealing with, who is true chosen are, who the elect are. Okay?
Yes.
Hey, man, hey, we can't wait till that time come.
That's right.
Verse 74, hear, O ye my beloved, all right, O ye my beloved, who is the beloved? Dawadah, the house of David, the house of Dawadah. It says, hear, O ye my beloved, saith the Lord, behold, the days of trouble are at hand, all right, the time of Jacob's trouble. It says, but I will deliver you from the same. So wait, we're getting ready to come into the time of Jacob's trouble. But as it says in Jeremiah 30:7, all right, the Lord is going to save us out of those times. All right, and He's going to save, work, mighty miracles for us when that time comes, lifting up that standard. sending down the Archangel Michael,
Yeah.
or whomever angel the Lord sends down, to help us during that time, giving us spiritual powers, all these different things. When it's all said and done, the elect are going to receive the victory over this wicked, wicked ass society, especially
Right.
over this beast system that rules over the society. Okay, you want to speak on that?
You hit it right on the head, bro. You got anything?
That's it. That's it.
Hey,
No, I got a,
you got it. We can take it
I
out.
got a quick one. All right, this is First Peter 4:18, and it says, "And the righteous, Shalakia, and if the righteous scarcely be saved, where shall the ungodly and the sinner appear?" So it says, if the righteous is scarcely going to be saved in these days, where shall the sinner appear, man? You know, so it's going to be very, very, you know, uh, by the hair of your chinny. You know how they say in the world, by the hair of your chinny chin chin. You know that you're gonna get out of that situation, man. You're gonna look back and be like I just barely got out of that.
Right,
And,
right. And the sinner's not gonna appear at all, because how can you appear in thermonuclear heat? You won't be seeing it all. Scriptures tell you your eyes gonna consume, your tongue's gonna consume out his whole, you're gonna be disintegrated. So if we're gonna be in the moment twinkling of an eye, the sinners are gonna be in that lake of fire. You got it, brother.
that's it.
Hey, Lord willing, this message was edifying. All right, we're gonna give infinite honors and prayers too.
Yahweh, Ba'Shem, Yahushua, Ba'Shem, Hakadash.
Double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone and the elders who rule well and are worthy of their double honors. Our teachers, peace and blessing to you, Aki, pushing out this truth across the four corners during these last sections of time. Kwame Yashala, Baba, Shalom.
Shalom.
Lord willing, Operator Zah, we see you, Akim, on the highways tomorrow. Shalom.
Shalom.